Hi, I'm Kirsten Delgado. You're watching WCI-TV, brought to you by Tower MSA Partners, and I'm here with Dr. Stephen Page of 360 Orthopedics in Sarasota, Florida. You're an orthopedic surgeon who today is actually accepting the award for Injured Worker Inspiration. Talk to me about how we got here, how we won the award, and really the A through Z. Tell me, spill the beans, how we got here.
So the Florida Orthopedic Society sponsors this event every year. It's an Inspired Workers Award, and it highlights cases where there were good outcomes from workers' compensation cases that involved orthopedic surgery. And so they ask you to submit a case. So we had a patient who broke his shoulder, had to undergo surgery, underwent a lot of physical therapy, but he was able to get back to work, going back to his regular job afterwards. And he was very happy with his care. And he actually wrote us a letter after he went back to work telling us how happy he was for the care that he received and how he had such a good outcome, which is unusual a lot of times with workers' compensation case. So we submitted this case for the Injured Worker Award, and we won it.
So talk to me about the streamlined process of it all. What do you attribute the success of this award to?
Well, I would attribute it to the workers' compensation team that I work with, as well as the adjuster and the case manager that were taking care of this patient. A lot of times there can be a lot of delays in treatment and authorization that can result in a patient not having a good outcome. In this case, the patient injured his shoulder and they got us into the office the very next day. So my workers' compensation team gets me the information, says we have a patient that needs care. Will you be willing to see this patient? And workers' compensation brought that to my workers' compensation team the day the injury occurred. So we have him in the office the very next day to see him. And then I see him in the office and I request authorization for a surgery that he needs. And I got the authorization 30 minutes after we requested it. And so then we were able to take him to the operating room the next day and fix his shoulder. And once you're able to fix his shoulder, they can start rehabilitation right away. And that way he gets to get back his function and range of motion and strength and everything as quickly as possible. And in this particular case, we had to do, several months of physical therapy afterwards. And every single therapy session was authorized well before the patient went. So there was no gaps in care. So it's just a case that shows that the team works together. The doctor says what the patient needs. The workers' compensation team authorized it in a very timely fashion. That can allow the patient to get all the care that he needs in the time that he needs it. And when that happens, he have a really great outcome.
What are some key takeaways for you think that other people can match to have this level of success with every patient?
Well, the number one thing is having a great workers' compensation team. The workers' compensation team in our practice is always on top of things. Whenever we have a patient that comes in, whatever we need, we can call them or email them, and they'll be right on top of getting that information to the adjuster, so we can always have great communication. It always helps when you have a great nurse case manager that can work as a liaison between the two. And it's just very helpful when everything happens in a timely fashion. And it's also very helpful when you have a patient that's motivated. So the key takeaways are having a motivated patient and having great communication between the team can allow the doctors to treat the patients the way that is the best outcome and that provides the best level of care.
This ended with the patient sending a letter about how grateful they were about the outcome they received and the level of care they received. That had to be really heartwarming, I'm sure, because there's so many people who come in and out of your office. And workers' compensation can be difficult, can be challenging for a lot of people. And so sometimes their experiences aren't great. In this case, it was spectacular care. Talk to me about receiving that letter and really building on the relationship with patients and making that workers' compensation process easier.
Right. So, that's the whole reason we do this in the first place. I went and became an orthopedic doctor so I could help take care of people, basically, and help make people's lives better and help people get back to work. And so having him have a good outcome it makes me feel like I'm providing a service to the world and doing the entire thing that I became an orthopedic doctor in the first place. And lots of times it can be frustrating. Patients don't always want to work as hard. Oftentimes there are disagreements as to whether the care should be authorized or not. There are lawyers involved a lot of times, and it can be very frustrating. So this is a case that really makes you want to keep doing orthopedics and keep taking care of people because it brings back the joy of why you became an orthopedic surgeon in the first place.
Well, congratulations. happening
Thank you.
today. Shortly, about an hour from now, you're getting that award. So congratulations again, Dr. Stephen Page of 360 Orthopedics in Sarasota. You're watching WCI-TV, brought to you by Tower MSA Partners.